Welcome to a new dispensation. Although that is a meme, it's actually a reality. Welcome to a new dispensation where you do not necessarily walk into the market and see groceries or food items placed on the road for you to just pick up and purchase. You have them in stores, in malls, sometimes at farmers market where you Today we are going to be talking about food, like purchasing food or purchasing food on a budget as an international student, because I did struggle with food and finances and all of those things as an international student. And although this may be common knowledge, I believe this video would be very helpful. But before we get into it, welcome to my channel. My name is Grace Chimezie. Most people call me Grace Alex. My online handle is T2Pichi. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Lookbook, Facebook. I'm almost on all the whole platforms, Reddit. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video if you found it helpful. So today we are going to be talking about, feeding, buying or purchasing groceries on a budget as an international student. I believe that as international students, I've kind of pointed to the fact that sometimes as international students, we are not buoyant enough to have enough funds to throw around, especially if you're Nigerian and the exchange rate is skyrocketing almost every minute. And if you're getting most of your funds from Nigeria, converting that, you just really do not have a lot of money. Welcome to a new dispensation. Although that is a meme, it's actually a reality. Welcome to a new dispensation where you do not necessarily walk into the market and see groceries or food items placed on the road for you to just pick up and purchase. You have them in stores, in malls, sometimes at farmers market where you can find farmers who bring out their produce to sell to the public. So this is the first thing. As an international student, it's very important that you draw out a budget. And in every month, you want to say, I have a budget of $150 to spend on food. And if you have an overshoot, you have to give a budget of, let's say, the highest I'm able to overshoot on my grocery or food budget for this month is an additional $50 or an additional $100, and it shouldn't exceed that. Having a budget, like in all ventures, is very important to keeping you on track and making you make the right choice, or to have you make the right choice. So what I did when I was at Georgetown was to have a budget, and with that budget I had to buy tomato paste, tomatoes, pepper, onions, and garlic. Those were important items I had to have on my groceries. And yours may be different. You should have those things that you know that once you prepare them, they can last you for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. So when I buy my fresh tomatoes, I would blend them, dry out the water, and you can freeze them so that you could use the paste to make stew when you want to, and it doesn't go bad. I also used to buy like a carton of ramen because I love ramen a lot. I'd buy a carton of ramen. A carton of ramen at Walmart is, I think, $2 or $1. And buying that and having like onions and pepper is just a very quick meal for a college student or someone in grad school who wants to make a quick fix meal and does not have like a large budget to splurge on. So I would buy, as I mentioned, tomato paste, onions, and pepper and garlic to make a paste, and also ramen. So one thing that I did not know earlier on was that when I went to Georgetown, I would go to Safeway to buy ramen, and I wouldn't buy the carton. I would buy like the pieces, which they sell for like 65 cents. And so if you buy two 65 cents of ramen, it's almost $1, which is the same as buying the whole carton at Walmart. So you want to look for the closest grocery store to you that sells items or grocery items at a very convenient rate that is within your budget. You have Aldi, you have Walmart, you have the farmers market, and those are the three that kind of are at the top of my head right now. You can purchase those three and you'll be able to, have something to eat for the first 2 weeks. Another thing is, remember how in boarding house, when we were going to boarding school, we used to buy like cartons of cornflakes, Golden Morn, sugar, and all of those things. Those same rules can apply to a graduate student who has just moved to the US and is starting off their life and they don't know how to go about it, especially when it comes to feeding. I would advise you to follow the same pattern. Buy 2 cabins, buy 2 cornflakes, buy 2 Cocoa Pops, a milk, and a Milo, and just buy those kind of groceries that would sort you out for breakfast. And so you could use the ramen for lunch or dinner, one of those two things. But having that boarding house mindset is very helpful in helping you manage. I know as we grow up, our bowels increase, but this is if you're on a budget, if you're on a street budget and you don't have a lot of money to splurge on, you want to improvise means of survival. Another thing is to buy more non-perishable goods. So what do I mean? Buy things like yam or sweet potatoes. I buy a lot of sweet potatoes because sweet potatoes are they stay a long time before they become perishable. And I would literally buy like 10 sweet potatoes, and they do stay long and they're affordable. And so when I buy them and I boil them, I could use them with stew, I could fry them, and just gives you the variety if you're looking for a variety of meals to cook or prepare that is healthy. And so I do that. Another thing is to supplement. Buy fruits that are not expensive. Over here, pawpaw can be really expensive, more expensive than you would find it at home. The mangoes are a little bit affordable, but I do know one thing you can get for a bargainable price is watermelons. So you could always buy watermelons and carrot and make that or blend it into a smoothie. I don't know what that would mean. A carrot and watermelon. Or buy cucumbers. Cucumbers are very affordable here. Buy cucumbers and veggies, and just those items are things that you could use to supplement for vegetables, because I do know that food items right now are on a spike. It's not a noticeable change, but if you're used to buying groceries, you would notice that there's a little bit of inflation to food prices here in the US. And I think someone had mentioned it on Twitter the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm not a mad person. I actually did notice that. So for international students, this may also be a tougher time for you because prices here are increasing and the exchange rate back home is increasing. So what you want to do is augmenting your meals, finding affordable ways to purchase food. I also would recommend going to open markets within your area or farmers markets within your area. In those farmers markets, you can find things that are affordable. You could also find items you wouldn't necessarily see in the store and purchase from them. And that way you are able to have like a balanced meal. I just thought that this video is going to be helpful because although it's common knowledge, I do believe that there are people that may not have an idea of how to go about this, because I myself, when I came to this country, did not have an idea. I did have someone who used to help me bring foods during the weekend, and that was not a continuous thing. So I had to augment. Yeah, that reminds me. Another thing you'd want to do is learn to bake. You probably want to be able to learn how to make pancakes because right here, baking items are cheaper than they are back home. So, what I usually do is buy flour, buy sugar, buy milk, tin milk, and eggs in large quantity. I try to buy like two like crates of eggs in sets because they are very affordable. You could get eggs for $2 here for like 12 or 24. And so I buy eggs, baking items in large quantity, and I really love to make pancakes and scones. And you could just make all of those things, and literally the whole item will cost you at most $20, but they could last you for weeks. So it's just an important way to manage your finances, manage how you eat. And I hope that this video has been helpful. If you found this, if you found, if you found the ideas that I shared here helpful, share with your contact, comment below, let me know. I'm going to actually be consistent now that I found a YouTube corner. I'll call it a YouTube corner. And till when next you see, don't forget to subscribe. It's really cold. The weather is dropping and I've just really found comfort in my space. But till when next you see, bye guys.